We greet you today. This is Rachelle of the League of Light speaking. I've come to you again and I have another message for you. And this one pertains to the changes that are going on in your world at this time that have to do with your stability, your sense of that which is faltering, and your sense of that which is rock solid. Many of you have put your belief as a people upon a structure that is itself a construct that was created by other people. And when you keep building upon a structure in this way, there's bound to come a point where you have to examine the foundation and see if it can handle more stories. Now, when you build upon a solid structure, you can build higher and reach further, perhaps. And you can climb further, for sure. Now, if you consider that what you've built upon was made for a time and a place and a state of mind that was infused with the ideas that had come out of the needs of the people at the time that things were built. And do they suit you where you are now? Are you in a place where you can say with absolute surety that what you're looking at as your belief structure is perfectly in line with the needs of, well, not only yourself, but those around you, with whom you have commerce, with whom you have some sense of influence going back and forth with each other? Are you able to stand on your own 2 feet, or do you retreat into the shadows of something that was built for you by people who had no inkling what your world would be at the time that you are now, when they built their ideas into a structure of belief? How long ago? Now, there is some truth that withstands the tests of time, as you say, and these are the things that you are well to put your faith in. You can see those things that are rock solid, that don't budge because of the change of the wind, that don't collapse because there isn't enough energy being put in them artificially by people working very hard and diligently to create something out of nothing. The raw materials that you have around you are sufficient for building those things that you need to survive from day to day. And you can create some really beautiful and inspiring pieces of lasting value for those generations that are to come, to say, we were here and this is what we believed and this is what was important to us, and we want this structure to reflect all of that for you so that you don't forget. How many of you remember who you are because of the beliefs that you have? And can you say with absolute surety that it is not those beliefs that are infusing you with an idea of yourself that perhaps is disconnected with what you have forgotten from the time before you were here? There was a time before you had form, when your consciousness was as clear as can be, when your consciousness was pure about who you are as an eternal being. And when you come into form in this matrix of a planetary sphere, and into the societal structure, and this economic infrastructure, and this commercial give and take energy that you've built up around the world, and you're part of it. No matter how much off the grid you want to be, you still have to be part of it in some way. Are you aware that these thoughts that you had about yourself, these understandings, this knowing, are you aware that they're still present within you in their entirety, in their purest form? It's easy to forget when you come into the matrix. And many of you have spent your lives all along looking for clues that will lead you back to that intensity of being that you had before you came here, to put into your life some spark of energy that would remind you of your purpose and the direction that you would best be going in without getting distracted by the forms of the matrix projections around you. What edifices have you built? What milestones have you left for yourself to find the way back to your own understanding of self? And those things that you believe in so fervently, are they serving as distractions, or are they really helping to point the way back to you, who you are? I ask you to reflect on this today. A new world is coming into being, and there is little doubt that certain things of the old world are going to have to crumble and fall by the wayside. You're seeing this happening all around you. You don't have to look very far. No matter which corner of this round world that you're in, you don't have to look very far to see something impacting yourself or your neighbors, or your community, your sense of belonging to a nation. How does that affect you? Of belonging to a planetary race of people. The time is coming for a lot of these things to fall, and then it will be time to rebuild. Or you might think it might be time to allow the world to build itself for a change, because if you look around at the things that are crumbling and tottering and losing their intrinsic form, you can hear the creaking rafters of your economic and social structures as the pressures of the time push against them. Are these not, in fact, things that you have created? Things that people have created. And for whatever reason, and we leave that to you to figure that out. It shouldn't be that hard. For whatever reason, these structures are being forced upon you, and you are valiantly resisting being pushed into a box any longer. It is time, my dear ones, to think about the structures that you have in your life and what purpose they serve in your remembering of who you are and why you're here. And as each of you examines this individually, a commonality will doubtlessly come into view for you. And upon this, we dare say, you could build a trajectory for yourself to move forward from, and get out of the way before the rafters and the rubble fall upon you. We have more to tell you in the coming days, and right now we would say, be aware of what you're thinking, and be aware of what you're believing in, and think about the bigger picture of who things were built for, and who they were built by, and for what purpose, and what they're teaching you. What kind of things are being put into your consciousness from the outside, from things that you take for granted and see every day. Be aware, dear ones, or a new world is coming into being, and there are more signs to look for as that comes into view more clearly. I leave you now in peace and with great joy. And I say we'll be back and talk again very soon. This is Rachelle of the League of Light. I bid you peace and I wish you a pleasant day. Goodbye.